Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, a game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit the like button. The like button's important for YouTube to keep the algorithms happy, and then these things will come up higher in the search order when somebody comes looking for videos on Unconditional Surrender. This is a continuation of the C.U.C.U campaign, which stands for Cripple the UK, Collapse the USSR, affectionately known as the C.U.C.U campaign. And we're getting ready to go into November of 1941. So we will just go ahead and get started. Okay, and that's me setting some, I have some markers I set for where I start on my, I'm starting at 19 will. No declarations of war. We do a production phase thing here. There's nothing really earth-shattering. The Russians got all the way up to 12. The British are up at 10 because of the Lend-Lease, and I think now we're setting the strategic warfare, so it's +3 to +3. I don't think either one of us had anything to play. Nothing to play against the East. Russians have nothing. The West does have an ultra, but I'm not sure unless the Russians are successful that I'm going to spend it. So he rolled a 6, +3 was a 9. I rolled a 6, +3 is a 9, so nothing happened in the East, and I didn't bother to set anything in the West because I can't really get ahead of him. Next turn I'll have the United States, and then it's more tempting to try and do something. And he rolled a 4 + 6 is a 10, so no matter what I did, he would have taken a factory from me. And now he's moving. Why are we not? Oh, I don't think I have something set. Let me go set something here. Yes, I need to center on opponent's moves. Okay, so let's back up a little bit, and then here we go. So he takes the 10th, which is up here at Ryazan, and he moves it down to, where is he going? Let me get this thing out of the way so we can see. And he moves it, just moved it down to there. I don't know that he did a strategic move. Trying to think if he did a strategic movement. Oh yeah, this was his strategic movement. He moved a garrison down to Palermo, trying to keep me from getting easy cheap points against the Italians. Going forward, just kind of getting things out of the way while he's doing things. Anyway, back to the east. Boom and boom. So I moved this guy down here from Ryazan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the unit in poor weather and 8 for the hex. So he's attacking at fairly good odds here. He should be +4, -1, so +3, and I'm -2 because of the supply marker, I think. I'm not flipped yet, no. So he assaults there, he gets 5 + 3 is an 8. I roll a 5, -2 is a 3. An 8 to a 3 is a DD, so I'm eliminated and lose a willpower. And then he... oh, by the way, when we started, he did allow me to take... I had an infantry that I had placed in Central Russia box. We talked about it before the game started. And he said, no, I agree with you. You should have placed it in Granzi so that you could rail up here to try and keep him from just walking across the lower Don. At least now he has to attack across the lower Don. So he let me compensate for that because we were talking about it and we thought that maybe I should be putting something in the Russia box. And I was like, no, I think I really made a mistake there. And he was willing to let me, because we were kind of rushing at the end of the last turn. So now he moved his fighter up here so that he can influence things in poor weather. 4th Panzer is on the move. Comes running down here, moves himself into there so that he can... What he wants to do is if he pushes me out of Stalingrad with an attack, he does not want me to be able to go here, which is a very good defensible hex. So he goes to this side, it attacks into Stalingrad right there. And then he brings up the Yugoslav to give himself an extra plus. So he's +3 for the armor, +1 for the Yugoslav, -1 for the weather, -1 for the city. So he's +2, and I can't remember if he throws in his airplane here. I think we go to combat commitment, that's right. Yeah, go into combat commitment, we both throw in. So he throws in an airplane to get himself an extra +1, and I throw in my tank. So he's at +3 and I'm at +1, hoping to hold the city. He rolled a 3 + 3 is a 6. I'm like, hey, maybe I'll hold. I rolled a 3 +1 is a 4. Not enough to hold the city, so I have to retreat, and he takes it. So there goes a factory and a couple will points. Brings this infantry down to attack here. Pretty sure that's his next attack. He's +2, -1 for the river, -1 for the weather, and I'm a 0 to start with. We go to combat commitment, and at this point, since I'm not holding the city anymore, I'm said I'm not going to waste any more assets. It's not worth it. And he, I was worried about an attack here. Damn it. Attack here. Or maybe even down here or something. So I was trying to save my tanks for up north, or even maybe at Saratov. Just depends on where he goes to attack next. So anyway, we're at 0 to 0, and I think he throws in his airplane. Already threw in his tanks too. Oops, what's going on? Here we go. Yeah, I think he went all in. He threw in his airplane and his tank, so he's +2 to my 0. Rolled a 6 + 2 is an 8, and I rolled a 3, so I'm not only retreated, but I'm flipped. Which is bad for me because that means I can't reinforce him. And then he brings this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, to isolate that army. Then he takes this German, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and goes after the strategically moved dude because he's flipped. And so he's +1 to my -2. Don't know if he threw the airplane in. Don't think he did. No. So he went 5. He rolled a 5 + 1 is a 6. I rolled a 2. -2 is a 1, so I'm DD'd, so he's eliminated. He gets another will point. And he's basically making sure that I'm not going to have a real good chance of taking back Stalingrad, which is annoying. But that's the way it is sometimes. And then he has the Romanian go ahead and spend his point to come attack across the river. He's +2 for being isolated, -1 for the river, -1 for the weather, so it's 0 to 0. He rolled a 4, I rolled a 5, so nothing happened there. And then he moved his armor. He's like, this airplane doesn't have zone of control, right? I can just like run up here and do this? I was like, yep. And so we checked to make sure I was in the city, and so he is 3 for the armor, 1 for the... Well, I think this infantry couldn't attack from where it moved from. Let's see where it moved from. Alt-T or Control-T. Oh, must be... It's got to be Control. T. Yeah, he moved out of the city. If you count, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so he couldn't attack. So he's just attacking with the armor. Armor's at +3 to start with, -1 for the city, -1 for the weather, so he's in net +1. So I went ahead and threw my other tanks there to try and hold that city. So it's +1 to +1. He rolled a 6 + 1 is a 7. I rolled a 6 + 1 is a 7. So a couple of crucial battles I'm matching him. And then we were like, don't forget to move the Iraqi. He's like, yes, that's right. And I think, if I remember right, he's at like 19 production points. And he's like, I got a lot of stuff I want to build and play around with, so I don't know how much more he did. Moved the fin up here. And then he moved the armor, and this armor actually moves like this. He goes 1, 2, 3, and then attacks this guy who's isolated. So he's basically 5 minus 2, so he's plus 3 to my 0. I think I go ahead and throw the airplane in. He throws in his airplane, I throw in mine. So this is the airplane battle. Then we go back up to the combat. So he's plus 4 to my plus 1. He rolled a 10. I rolled a 5, which had me being flipped. Then he brought up this infantry. Attacked, I threw in my airplane. He threw in his, I believe. Right, he rolled a 5. I rolled a 4. Minus 1 is a 3. So a 5 to a 3 is a DR, so I'm eliminated. He takes the hex and gets me down another will point. And then he moved the guy that was in Yaroslav, he moves him back so that he's in supply. Moves the Italian up here so that the Germans down here can stay in supply, these two. The only guy who's going to have a supply problem is going to be the Finn. And I don't have a lot to take advantage of it. And then he's like, oh, I should probably get this convoy over here where it might actually do some good. And then he's like, let's make sure you don't move anything to Narvik for the winter. So he did that. And I think he's just about done here. Oh no, he had enough points left that he does his attack down here. So he's 3 plus 1 for the Turk is 4 minus 2. 1 for the rough, 1 for the weather, so he's plus 2 to my 0. I throw in the airplane to make it plus 2 to plus 1. He rolled a 3 plus 2 is only a 5, but I rolled a 1. Plus 1 is a 2. So I'm forced to retreat, and I was having trouble trying to figure out where to retreat to. I'm like, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? And I was like, I don't have a good place to go. And so he just did that, and then he moves the Turks up to isolate the 23rd and Baton. Moves up his Yugoslavs to keep Moscow bottled up. And then he's going to move trying to figure out where to put some Italian garrisons, and he moves German infantry, and I think he's done. Yep, he's doing his, so he's done. He's done his supply and whatnot. Supplies. Did we do it down here? Yes. Yeah, we got the convoys down there. So now we're into Western actions, I believe, and I'd go ahead and move the Gibraltar guy over to Hull. Which leaves me 9 points. And then we're into the Soviets. And I moved this infantry out of Novorossiysk up to here. And I moved this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not much of a line, but that's all I got. I moved this guy around because I'm going to be building people, so I wanted to have the river line guarded, and then Saratov, I'll build somebody in there. That was like 3, and then this guy had to move out and down just to keep him from surrounding Vologda. I want to be able to retreat out of it. Again, someplace where I'm going to build something. And then I think I'm done. Yep, no supply phases. Nobody does anything. Replacements for the Axis. I believe he does 2 airplanes. The one out of Moscow and one in the south. And one over in the west. And then we go into the Italians. Punish all their stuff. And then we go down here to the west where I replenish 3, 6, 9. And mobilization. He didn't have anything to build. I don't think the west had any points left to build with. And we should get into the Soviet builds. Oh, this was my Soviet replacements. I forgot to do that one. And then this is my builds. I build a couple of the shock armies in the south. Infantry goes into the cities. And I ran out of cities to build people into. So these last two guys had to go into the box. This last guy, because I got no more cities. I don't have any more Russian cities to build anybody in, unless I want to build up like in Murmansk or something, which doesn't help. So we go into the end of turn phase. So we're going to start the Russian winter here. I get to put a whole bunch of stuff on my card. The Russians go, get a whole bunch of stuff here. The Americans come in with their useless tanks marker, and then we roll. It doesn't matter what we roll in the cold. It's always going to be severe everywhere except for Russians in Russia. We have that on the weather track here. So it's always going to be severe for this December, January, and February. And why do I have partisans there? Shouldn't have partisans there. Oh, I think I have the counters in the wrong place. Anyway, he get a 5, so it's severe in the mild and poor in the warm zone. So I could technically invade, like at Kuwait or something, but not in poor weather. It's not worth it. So we're doing the economy phase. I think I'm going to just switch this here. I totally do not understand why I did that. Got the counters in the wrong places. Okay. So here we go. We're doing production now, so get that up. Boom, boom, boom. Even though he took a factory, the Russians will still be at 12 because they picked up a Lend-Lease. And now we're going. Now we're into the strategic warfare. I could have played my partisans. I chose not to. He rolled a 5 plus 3 is an 8. I rolled a 7, so I didn't lose anything in the east, and I didn't bother to do anything in the west because it wasn't worth it. He rolled a 4 plus 6 is a 10. I rolled a 4 plus 2. If I could have rolled a 6, I would have gotten a factory back for the British. But I'm only have 7 factories, and I'm down 9, so I'm trying to wait till I can make a bigger impact, hopefully. And so now he's strategically moves his garrison that was up at Narvik into Bergen to protect his airplane. Let's get rid of some of these things here. Boom, boom. Oops, boom, and boom. Get those off the map. Okay, so that's what he does there. That's us playing around with the stack. Soviets thought about it and decided I didn't really have one. So it is now severe for the Germans, so they moved the Yugoslav up. They're just trying to sort of straighten out their lines. They do an assault here with everybody. He's the primary. Oh, I did not bother to play anything at that point because it didn't make a lot of sense. He rolled a 1 plus 4. He's 2 for German. And then 3, 4. No minuses for the weather, but he is halved. So he rolled 1 plus 4 is 5, halved down to a 3. I rolled a 3, so I held. Moved a German up into Rostov, so I can't do anything there. German up into the woods. Moved the Finn back here. Why do you move the? I think we correct that because the Finn will go into no supply if he sits there. Oh no, he goes 1-2 down this way. Okay, and out through the south. Okay, brings an Italian garrison up to kind of do the same thing. He's like, nope, I already moved the Finn. I can't move him, so I got 1 Finn point. Move the Italian air up. Thought about the Germans. Played with the Iraqis. Then he does his assault on Batum. Gets a 5 plus 4 because I'm isolated, so he starts off at 2 plus 2 buddies is 3, 4. He should have been -1 for coming across the mountain. He didn't take the -1 off. Huh. Anyway, he still would have been an 8, halved down to a 4, so I shouldn't have been flipped, but okay. I screwed up. Then he's doing his supply, and he's done. And then I take the Americans and go, We're sailing to the Western Indian Ocean, then we sail into someplace where we can actually be useful. Brought the British convoy over someplace where it can be useful. This convoy decided that it's going to go live in Gibraltar. Where am I at? Okay, now I'm doing Russians. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Goes there. I'm going to say, I said I'm going to do it right away. So all 3 of these guys are going after him. He's the primary. I throw a tank on him. I throw a tank on the other guy, and then I have shock. So that means I start off at +1 because I think I'm a tank. This guy's an additional tank, so that's +2. And a shock is +2 in fair or poor. So I'm +5, -1 for the weather. So I'm +4 to his +2. And I got a 1 +5, typical. And he got a 2 +4, which was a 6. And then, actually, we figured out that we did that wrong because he rolled the attacker die first. So it should have actually been a 1 +2, so it should have been a 3, and I had a 2 +4 as a 6, so it actually should have been a DR. That's me making that notation there. So he actually retreats, and he's trying to figure out, where do I go? I said, it doesn't matter, I'm going to take the hex just to try and screw around with the Germans here in the winter. And did I do anything else? Oh, I moved this shock army up and around on the road. And I think that's all I did. Yep. We went through the no supply phase, and then we're into access replacements. I took this sortie outside of Moscow, and of course cleaned up the Italians, and then cleaned up his Italians in the Med. I cleaned up my Americans, and then I went ahead and spent 7 up here. Or 8 there. And I flipped over the BEF as well. Should be at full strength. I flipped over the Russian shock armies. And we get through. He doesn't have anything to build. He builds his surprise attack marker. He had saved 20 points for this. He's building it now while there's not a real big threat. Right? So he had 20 points left, and sure enough, boom. And out it comes. It should be in 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be in April. Where it is. There it is. Okay. So mobilization Western didn't have any points to spend on it. Mobilization for the Soviets, I had exactly 4 points left, so I built 4 points. What did I build? I don't know what I built and where. I built in the south. That's all I have left to build. Can't remember. Yes, built an infantry there and an infantry there, and put 2 more infantry up here in the box because I got nowhere else to place them. That's useful. And then we go into end of turn phase. So if we go here, not a lot comes out. Get back my tanks, and I got a Urals factory, so that gave me some more points. I have an airplane to build and 4 guys, so. And the Germans got back their submarines. What the heck? The Germans got back their surface action and their submarines, and we are in January. And then before we close for the night, we go ahead and roll the weather. It won't matter in the cold zone. That's already set. And in the mild and the warm, it came up poor and poor. If you look on December through February, a 4 is poor and a 4 is poor. So it's poor in the mild, poor in the Mediterranean, in the warm zone. Severe up here in the cold zone, which is mostly Russia, except for the Russians where it's poor. So, yay. And then we're done. So there you have it, November and December of 1941. The Russians are down to 14 will, sorry. So not first fair weather turn, pretty much the Russians are done for. Because I lost 2, 3. I lost 4 that turn. I should be at 15. I don't know why I'm at 14. I should be at 15. Oh no, I lost this guy here too. I lost 1, 2, 3 infantry and 1 city. So I lost 5 out of 15, so I'm down to 14. So he hits a fair weather turn. He can multiple attack Moscow. That's 5 my points. That puts me down to 9. Saratov is 2 more. Puts me down to 7. He breaks through here and takes Novorossiysk. That's -2, so I'm down to 5. And, you know, it's just a matter of time before he probably pushes me out of here, which would put me down to 3. And then it's just a matter of how many Russians can he kill in order to collapse me. So things are not looking good for the Russians. I will try to do something here in the next 2 turns with poor weather to try and push the Germans back across the lower Don, but I don't think I'm going to be very successful, and because I just don't have enough units in the right places. Anyway, there we go. The Cuckoo campaign continues. We will probably see a Russian collapse sometime in 1942. As always, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button for YouTube to hit the algorithm so everybody can find these things when they come searching for unconditional surrender videos. And until we meet again, bye-bye. Stay safe.